John Lennon and Paul McCartney brought together contrasting styles that defined their individual artistic voices, while complementing each other in ways that shaped one of the most influential partnerships in music history. They started writing songs together as early as 1957, shortly after they met. Their partnership quickly evolved from teenage experiments to professional-grade pop writing. Both agreed on early in their career that even when one of them was the primary or sole writer of a song, they would share the credit equally. Many songs were truly co-written, in sessions where John and Paul were literally completing each other's lines and chords, writing, as Lennon said, one-on-one, eyeball to eyeball, both playing into each other's noses. Later on, although they often wrote independently, and many Beatles songs are primarily the work of one or the other, it was rare that a song would be completed without input from both writers. This has shaped an amazing catalog of approximately 180 songs released by the Beatles, in addition to many others that were never recorded or given to other artists.
Out of, I think it's about 300 songs that John and I wrote together, we never had a dry session. We always finished a song.
Lennon's songwriting often came from a deeply personal place. He used music as a form of introspection, writing confessional songs like Help, I'm a Loser, and In My Life that revealed vulnerability and emotional depth. His lyrics were frequently tinged with surrealism and wordplay, reflecting his fascination with literature and the abstract. McCartney, on the other hand, leaned more towards storytelling and imagination. He had a gift for crafting vivid characters and situations, as in Eleanor Rigby, Paperback Writer, or Penny Lane. His lyrics tended to be more grounded and accessible, often focusing on universal themes through fictional narratives. McCartney's melodic sensibility and sense of optimism often balanced Lennon's more introspective and sometimes darker tone. Together, this duality created a powerful synergy. Lennon's raw honesty gave emotional weight to their music, while McCartney's inventiveness added color and variety. John's lyrics were marked with wordplay, satire, and avant-garde expression, but it was in the melodies where Paul distinguished himself.
Paul was always much more interested in music per se, whereas John was always more interested in words per se. I think this relationship benefited from the ping-pong of those things. I mean, I think Paul always wanted to be able to write lyrics like John could do, and John really envied Paul's gift for melody.
McCartney often creates vivid scenes that feel cinematic and emotionally resonant, even when completely fictional. Eleanor Rigby, for example, is a haunting portrait of loneliness, centered around fictional characters Eleanor Rigby and Father Mackenzie. McCartney breathes life into these characters through everyday details, using simple yet evocative language to highlight their isolation. Penny Lane paints an affectionate portrait of a childhood place through vivid characters: a banker, a barber showing photographs, and a fireman with an hourglass. It's a collage of ordinary moments seen through the soft focus lens of memory. McCartney's melody bounces with optimism, although tinged with quiet nostalgia. While McCartney's lyrics were more linear and accessible, John Lennon had a unique gift for surreal, often nonsensical wordplay, especially during the Beatles' more experimental and psychedelic phase. In Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds, John stages a dreamlike landscape, with tangerine trees and marmalade skies. The music, as well as the lyrics, evokes a child's eye view of the world, and is very much influenced by Lewis Carroll's Alice in Wonderland, of which both John and Paul had deep appreciation. Though often associated with LSD, Lennon insisted that inspiration came from a drawing by his son.
This is the truth. My son came home with a drawing and showed me this strange-looking woman flying around. I said, "What is it?" He said, "It's Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds." And I thought, that's beautiful. I immediately wrote a song about it. And somebody noticed that the letters spelt out LSD. And I had no idea about it. And of course, after that, I was checking all the songs to see what the letters spelt out. Yeah.
But some of the most iconic Beatles songs are true Lennon-McCartney hybrids. Their distinct songwriting voices don't just coexist, they enhance each other. McCartney's optimism and storytelling, grounding Lennon's raw introspection. or John's biting wit creating a counterpoint to Paul's optimism.
If I'd write a song called It's Getting Better All the Time, then John was likely to chirp in with It Couldn't Get Much Worse. You know, now I realize, wow, that's very valuable.
This interplay of personal styles becomes a creative force, and many Beatles songs are a testimony to this. In We Can Work It Out, Paul begins with a plea for understanding and compromise in a relationship. He's hopeful, diplomatic, trying to bridge a gap, possibly inspired by real tensions with his girlfriend, Jane Asher, at the time. The chorus is confident, focused on resolution and harmony. Suddenly, in the bridge, Lennon comes in and the tone shifts. It becomes darker, more fatalistic. He introduces the idea that time is slipping away, and that emotional conflicts may be inevitable or even pointless. He delivers it with his signature unsettling tone. It's not a warm reassurance, it's a cold truth. This contrast deepens the emotional complexity of what could have been a simple love song. The listener is caught between hope and hard truth, exactly where real relationships tend to live. I've Got a Feeling is one of the most revealing Lennon-McCartney hybrids from the Let It Be sessions. It's a rare fusion of two distinct song fragments. Paul McCartney's section is an optimistic, romantic affirmation and carries a groove-driven, bluesy rock feel. John Lennon's section is a repurposed piece titled Everybody Had a Hard Year, a much darker reflection on personal struggle. The emotional contrast is striking. Paul's half is open and expressive. It leans into love and hope with a major key propulsion. John's half is somber and entrancing, not melodic so much as rhythmic, almost confessional. He mentions troubles with a weary edge, a hard year, a bad time, a wet dream. Together, these halves could be seen as a mirror of the state of the Beatles in 1969. Paul trying to keep the band going with enthusiasm and resolve, and John becoming increasingly jaded. Yet when they're sung simultaneously, especially during the rooftop performance, it's electric. The overlapping vocals don't clash. They collide like two live wires. It's a duel of perspectives, but one that's strangely harmonious. A Day in the Life from the Sgt. Pepper album may be the best example of Lennon and McCartney's artistic voices truly merging. Inspired by real newspaper headlines, Lennon delivers a dreamlike, almost detached reaction to tragic news: death, war, and societal numbness. The words are poetic, cryptic, and introspective. His voice sounds distant. The melody has a melancholic feel and a haunting tone. In the middle section of the song, McCartney takes over, and the tone shifts completely. It becomes bright, rhythmic, and plain-spoken. It now takes us through a completely mundane moment in a man's day.
Woke up, fell out of bed, dragged a comb
Waking up,
across my
catching the
head,
bus, entering the routine of life.
found the way downstairs
This
and
section
drank
adds a
cup.
tangible sense of time and place to the otherwise
I
ethereal
noticed I
mood.
was late.
Lennon shows the emotional weight of modern life, almost existential and abstract, while McCartney pulls the listener back into the ordinary, the daily rhythm we all recognize. The orchestral swells and random notes ascending to the final chord tie these two parts together in a dramatic ending. The Lennon-McCartney songwriting partnership is unique. It's not just two personalities stitched together, it's two worldviews interacting. Lennon, the dreamer, the skeptic, the outsider. McCartney, the doer, the optimist, the craftsman. Together, they capture the entire range of human experience, from cosmic to domestic, profound to prosaic, from surreal visions to grounded narratives. It's conflict and chaos resolving into one sound and one voice.